ask someone nowadays what makes a good game, especially in today's world of next-gen systems, one of the things a lot of people will mention is graphics. Then there are indie developers like Denaton Games that put out a game like Hotline Miami and say, "F yo, graphics." Okay, maybe I added that bit in, but Hotline Miami harkens back to the good old days of 8-bit gaming where graphics weren't at the forefront, but a healthy dose of pixelated violence was. So is Hotline Miami a blast from the past, or are you just going to wish it had been left in the attic with your other 8-bit games? Let's find out. In Hotline Miami, you play as this guy, an unnamed man who you don't really know anything about. In fact, you really don't know a whole lot in general. There's this room full of masked men talking to you, who I'm not entirely sure are all just figments of your imagination, and every now and then you get a phone call telling you to go murder a bunch of people. The story is very much a mystery as you play through the game. Something something Russian mafia, something something go kill these guys, something something masks. Don't get me wrong, that's one of the cool parts of Hotline. What at first seems like a story about a contract killer eventually morphs into an entirely new entity where you aren't sure which parts of your world are real and which parts are fake. Everything aesthetically about Hotline Miami is perfect. The sound design on the weaponry is great, the music is phenomenal, both appropriate for the style of the game and for the levels you fight your way through, and the graphics work very well. Trust me, you'll be glad it's an 8-bit when you see how violent this game can be. The gameplay in Hotline Miami is very simple. Kill everything that moves without yourself being killed. You may not look it, but it's really very fun. Part of the reason it's so fun is because you can die just as easily as your enemies, so the strategy of how you go through a level must be well thought out and will most likely be developed over several tries, as each level is progressively more difficult than the last. You'll punch, slash, shoot, slam doors into people, mount them, and then slice them apart, and trust me when I say it's pretty addicting. As the game progresses, you'll unlock different weapons which will drop at random off of your foes, as well as unlock new masks, each one with its own special power. Another reason why Hotline Miami is so fun is because of the multitude of weapons at your disposal with which to mangle your enemies. Each one basically does the same thing, but for some reason the variety is really pleasing. My favorite had to be the samurai sword. After each level, you'll get rated based on your boldness, combos, i.e. killing people in quick succession, time, and so on. It really is a great mixture of story and fun arcade-style gameplay. Despite the fact that it doesn't seem to make much sense at first, there are even boss fights. Each one amounts to figuring out the pattern in which your enemy attacks and taking advantage of weak moments, but they're well thought out and just as challenging as the normal levels, which brings me to my next point, the difficulty. I'd put it at somewhere between old, impossible 8-bit games and the new games of today that anyone can beat, pretty much. It's challenging enough that you'll spend a decent amount of time beating it, but not so challenging that you'll want to rage quit. Though I have to say, some of the levels later on in the game are pretty damn hard. You can pick up Hotline Miami for $10 on Steam and you'll get a solid 6 to 8 hours out of the game. Aside from unlocking all the masks and weapons, there won't be too much of a reason to replay it, but it is a lot of fun and I could see myself replaying Hotline sometime just to hack apart some underworld mafiosos 8-bit style. Hotline Miami is a great example of why retro games are so timeless. It combines fast, fun arcade gameplay, a wacky story, and an incredibly addicting style into one very fun indie game. Hotline Miami is perfect for what it is, so I give it 10 8-bit samurai swords out of 10. For more reviews and video game videos featuring myself and those other guys, be sure to keep it locked right here to Smosh Games.